Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'll be covering part 13 to probably the greatest story ever told, at least on this channel, which is titled, While Wife Thought Her Affair Was Going Unnoticed, Husband Was Playing the Long Game Preparing for War. And guys, normally I don't do a recap, however, and you obviously know what's going on here if you're sticking around for part 13, I will say I have to mention something about part 12. In part 12, as you recall, because it was only a few days ago, there was a bunch of little updates here and there, but the biggest thing is that his soon-to-be ex, Emily, hired a new lawyer. And with that new lawyer, created another offer, a post-nuptial agreement. She's still hanging on to the hope, with offering everything, she can get this guy to not divorce her. Well, as you can imagine, he read it, it was amusing, not happening. And at the advice of his own lawyer, she said, maybe you could write her a personal letter, instead of going through her, making it clear this ain't happening. Enough with this nonsense about, reconciliation and all that. It's not going to happen. So he said he was going to write a letter, and this whole update is 3 different versions of the letter he was going to go through. One that was very cold and logical, which goes based on how men think. One was more emotional, and one was more kind of insulting and making fun of her and all that. So he does all 3. They're very entertaining, and I'm going to cover all of them, and then we'll see. I'll let you see how this thing plays out. So he says here, I can't decide which way to go in my letters to Emily. I decided to write 3 different approaches. Coldly logical, raw emotion, and dismissive and insulting. Okay, so place your bets with this guy's sense of humor. Which one do you think is going to be the best one? Or as in, what will be the best one to use against his ex? And what will be the most entertaining for us? Big surprise, but you'll see. Okay, the first one under the coldly logical letter to her, he says here, Emily, my lawyer has advised that I write to you explaining in clear terms why reconciliation is not possible. After considerable thought, I decided to approach this from a logical perspective rather than an emotional one. So immediately that'll drive her crazy because she wants emotion. Emotion equals drama. He says, let's start with a definition. Love, a noun. A complex set of emotions, behaviors, and beliefs associated with strong feelings of affection, protectiveness, warmth, and respect for another person. Love involves caring for another person's well-being, prioritizing their needs, maintaining their trust, and being honest with them even when it is difficult. Looking at the evidence objectively, I need to assess whether your actions over the past year demonstrates love as defined above. Consider the following: trust and honesty. He says, you maintained a secret relationship with John for approximately 9 months. You consistently lied about your whereabouts. When directly questioned on New Year's Eve, you denied any infidelity. After your discovery, your account events changed multiple times, a coercion narrative, business mentorship narrative, etc. You only disclosed information when faced with evidence, prioritizing partners' well-being. You risked my sexual health by being intimate with both John and me. You diverted resources from our marriage, time, energy, and attention. You shared intimate details of our marriage with Bev. You damaged our shared property and put others in danger by burning your possessions. See how, again, cold and logical. Remember when she was burning all her freaking Gucci purses and all that shit, and handbags and shoes on the freaking grill? Yeah. Insult to injury ruined the guy's grill. Respect for partner. You came home after being with John and were intimate with me. You allowed John to finance aspects of our marriage. You portrayed a false version of our relationship to other people. When analyzed objectively, these behaviors demonstrate a fundamental incompatibility with the definition of love. This isn't about moral judgment or punishment. It's about recognizing a factual misalignment between your actions and the definition of love. Well said, man. And exactly, it's all about action. And her action shows, newsflash, wait for it, she doesn't love him. He goes on saying, your recent actions such as therapy, church attendance, and your proposed post-nup agreement suggest you're experiencing guilt, shame, and fear of loss. These are understandable human emotions, but they're distinct from love. The post-nup agreement you propose focuses on controlling future behavior rather than addressing the fundamental questions of whether you generally love me as defined above. Right, because she doesn't want to deal with that because that makes her accountable for her bad actions. I do believe you care about me and wish to maintain our relationship, but caring about someone even deeply isn't the same as loving them in the complete sense of the word. Your actions reveal a prioritization pattern where your desires, needs, and comfort consistently ranked higher than my well-being, dignity, and trust. Bingo. A logical conclusion is that you do not love me according to the definition of love. You may believe you do, but the empirical evidence contradicts this belief. This isn't your fault. We can't control who we love. It would be unreasonable of me to expect you to manufacture love where it does not naturally exist. Well, it doesn't naturally exist for any woman. Let's be honest here. They can have what they think is love. They can have attachment. You can have their heart. You can have their mind. You can have their soul, which bad boys usually do. But love, like a man does, no effing way. The rational solution is for both of us to move forward separately. Number one, you deserve to find someone you truly love. Fat chance there. Someone whose well-being, trust, and dignity you naturally prioritize without requiring contractual obligations or monitoring. Two, I deserve to find someone who loves me in the complete sense of the word, someone whose actions align with their professed feelings. Don't hold your breath, sir. Three, we both deserve a relationship built on genuine love rather than obligation, guilt, or fear. I'm proceeding with a divorce for these reasons. It's not a punishment or an act of revenge. It's the logical outcome of the situation we find ourselves in. The terms I've communicated through my lawyer remain my position. I wish you well on your journey forward. I hope you find happiness and growth and that you discover what genuine love means for you. Never going to happen. We had good years together and I'll always remember, but we need to acknowledge reality and make decisions based on facts rather than wishful thinking. Sincerely, OP. And he says here, after reviewing this letter, I realize it comes across as cold and clinical. That was not entirely unintentional. It's easier for me to process things logically rather than dive back into the emotional tornado. But please know I don't hate you. I just can't pretend that what happened doesn't fundamentally change who we are to each other. So there you go. That was the cold and logical. Like Mr. fucking Spock could have done that letter. And you know what? What does that letter do? It shows exactly what's going on and no room for emotion or stuff like that. And you know what? It doesn't give her drama. And you know what? That would probably drive her the craziest because it doesn't give her drama. He's not yelling at her. He's not cursing at her. He's not doing that, which gives her drama. Okay, second variation. The letter on raw emotion. So let's see how this is different. He says, Emily, I don't even know how to do this. I don't even know how to say goodbye to you. I keep starting this letter and stopping because every time I try to write the words, it feels like I'm stabbing myself in the heart all over again. I loved you so goddamn much. I loved you with a kind of blind faith that I don't even know existed. And you knew that. You knew it. And you still chose to hurt me. You didn't just cheat on me, Emily. You ended me. You shared something in me that I don't know if I can ever fix. You made me feel small and worthless in a way I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I can't look in the mirror anymore without seeing the fuckable asshole you made out of me. Or fucking asshole you made out of me. I was proud to love you, proud to be your husband, proud of the life that we were building. And now I think of our life together, it feels like rotting wood under my hands. Like something hollowed out and dead that I still try to lean on out of instinct. I hate that part of me that still wants to believe this nightmare isn't real. But it is. It's so real, it feels like it's crushing my chest every time I breathe. I am not the man you married anymore, and I'm not the man you want to reconcile with either. He's gone, Emily. You killed him the second you decided someone else's attention, someone else's money, and someone else's arms were worth more than my heart. I cannot come back from this. I can't pretend that it didn't just happen. I can't lie to myself just to make you feel better. I like that line. You're not my home anymore. You're not my safe place. You're not a person to me anymore. You're a shitty traumatic event that I have to survive. He says, God, Emily, I would have given you anything. I would have burned the whole world down if you asked me to, and you threw me away like it meant nothing. Well, man, that's pretty darn extreme. Maybe someday you'll understand what you did. Maybe someday it'll hit you like a truck when you're standing in an empty house or staring at yourself in the mirror. Maybe someday you'll realize that you didn't just lose a husband, you lost someone who loved you so deeply that he never once doubted you until you forced him to. I cannot do this anymore. I have to let you go, even if it kills me. Even if I feel like I'm ripping out my own heart, even if I never really heal from it at all. Because you didn't just kill the man you married, yet you killed the future we were supposed to have. Goodbye, Emily. I will love you for the rest of my life, but I can't be with you anymore. The woman I loved is gone. OP. Okay, so that one would be, again, I'm sure that's a part of how he's feeling. And, that would definitely give her a lot of drama. And we don't want that because then she wins. So I immediately say no way to that one, regardless of how the third one may be. No. Because he sounds too vulnerable and all that. He's got to be stoic here. He says, so the following is the first letter I wrote, including the last. After I wrote it, I felt like I had to write a logical analysis of the situation, which became the first letter I put in here. Then writing the logical letter got me into a darker place, and I wrote the second letter. So here's the first letter I wrote when I was still giddy and happy. So this is the one under the category of dismissive and insulting. You guys will enjoy this. He says, Emily, congratulations. You managed to off a marriage that could have survived a zombie apocalypse, 2 hurricanes, and my cooking. Seriously, I would have walked through fire for you. Hell, I would have walked through Bed Bath & Beyond on a Saturday afternoon for you, and I did. Remember that? Would John have done that for you? Remember when I paid retail for a fucking air fryer from Bed Bath & Beyond? But you know what I can't even survive? Being downgraded from a husband to set decoration while you played the lead role in the shitty Netflix rom-com. I know you're sorry, I know you're desperate, and I know you'd love to rewind the clock and stop yourself whatever moment you decide that our marriage needed a supporting cast. But here's the truth. You didn't just make a mistake, you made a lifestyle. You didn't trip and fall into a boutique with no price tags, you chose it again and again. And while you were busy sipping champagne and pretending you were a pop diva, you didn't notice the man back home trying to figure out why he wasn't enough for you anymore. I'm not angry. You have to care to be angry. I'm just fucking done with this bullshit. With your bullshit. I know you want to reconcile with the guy you married, but he's not here anymore. You buried him under a pile of hotel receipts, fake orgasms, and Nordstrom bags. You don't love me. You love the way I make you feel. The safety, the loyalty, the guy who never left no matter what. Ding, ding, ding. Except surprise, he left finally. You love what that guy did for you, but you didn't give a shit about him personally. Never at one moment did you love this guy. Do not bullshit yourself into thinking you're saying that to yourself now out of guilt and not out of love. You're thinking, why couldn't I love this guy? The fact is that you always only had one soulmate, Emily, yourself, certainly not me. You're darn right about that. He says, you'll be okay, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're successful, resourceful, and you can spot a delicious brunch menu 500 yards away. You'll land on your feet, but not with me. Take care, Emily, and when you tell people about us years from now, feel free to lie a little bit. Make it a good story, because Lord knows you're good at making up bullshit. Goodbye. P.S. The air fryer is non-negotiable. Seriously, I will fight you. That's our guy. So number two, that's out. And this one is really funny. This one's really good. But at the end of the day, you know what I choose, guys? I choose the first one. Coldly logical. I like this one, the last one, because it's entertaining for us. It's biting sarcasm. It's our guy here. He's pouring salt in the wound, and you know what? He deserves to do that. But again, it gives her drama. And part two kind of makes him sound, although understandable, weak. This one makes him sound, yeah, he was hurt, but he's got a sense of humor about it, and he's rubbing salt in the wound. And as funny as it is, I say stick with option A, the coldly logical, because that'll make her crazy by him just laying out all these facts and going Mr. Spock on her, being all like a Vulcan, being like the fucking Terminator. No drama. It'll make her crazy, because they want drama. And this one here also with his biting sarcasm, then she can show that to her friends and say he's an a-hole and get worked up, and that just won't get him anywhere. So I say the first one. Now he says here, another little update here. He says, looks like you're all favoring a combination of coldly logical and emotional to drive it home. Here's what I have. So now he made another version. He says, Emily, my lawyer suggested I write to you explaining why reconciliation is impossible. After thinking it over, I realize I owe it to myself to be clear, both logically and emotionally. First, the facts. Love me... Whoa, crap. Excuse me, guys. He says, love means protecting, respecting, and prioritizing someone else even when it's difficult. Your actions, namely the lying and the infidelity and the humiliation, are the opposite of that. You hid an affair for nearly a year, lied straight to my face on New Year's Eve, risked my health, shared our marriage with strangers, and only confessed pieces of the truth when you had no choice. In other words, trickle truth. Yet chose yourself every single time it mattered. That is not love. It's selfishness cosplaying as love. I don't doubt you feel guilty now. I don't doubt you wish you could rewind the clock. But you're not mourning me. You're mourning the man who you could always count on. The man who forgave everything. The man who's gone now because you offed him. Hey, well said. I do not exist anymore the way you remember me. You didn't just end a marriage. You burnt down the man who believed in it. I was proud to be your husband once. Now, when I think of us, it feels like standing on the wreckage of a house that used to feel like a home. You're not my partner anymore. You're not a traumatic event I must survive. I have to let you go because there's nothing left for me to hold on to. I'd be more like, you need to let me go. You've already let go. We are divorcing. That is final. You need to wrap your head around that fact. Please direct all future communication through our attorneys. OP. Well, there you go. There's 4 different versions there. And I will say the last one is, it has a lot of coldly logical, some emotion in there. It's shorter to the point, It'll give her a little bit of drama, but not too much drama. Because he honestly was just, expressing what's happening. Some emotion, but he didn't sound like a pussy. So I would go down to either the coldly logical one, if he really wants to, go Mr. Spock on her and drive her crazy. Or he could do the last one. So guys, I want to hear what you think in the comment section what he should do. Because when he did this on Reddit, obviously he got a bazillion different comments and everything like that. But I want to hear what you guys think of this. And I'll be very curious to see where he goes. But I got to say, option 3, the one that was sarcastic and everything, that was fucking funny. But that would just give her too much drama. We don't want that. Because it's just like guys when they start a fight with you and you walk away. Makes them nuts because they can't yell at you and get their drama. And you can't do anything to give them drama to complain to their friends and coworkers and the UPS driver about. So I would say either number 1 or the last one he did there. So I want to hear what you all think about this, and we'll see where it goes. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story you want me to cover, send it my way, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's good, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.